everyone, I'm Sanjana Agrawal and welcome you all to Dento Awesome. So today we're going to have an interview with a dynamic personality with us is Dr. Poonam Hudia ma'am. So let's quickly join ma'am with us. So here with us is Dr. Poonam Hudia ma'am. I kindly request ma'am to introduce yourself first before we begin with an interview.
Hello, Dr. Sanjana. How are you?
I'm completely good, ma'am.
Hello, Dr. Sanjana. How are you?
I'm completely fine, ma'am. How are you?
Myself, Dr. Mrs. Poonam Hudia. I'm a practicing dentist at East Nagpur, Vardhaman Nagar since 20 years, and I'm Secretary ID Nagpur branch. And I wish everyone a very good evening to each and everyone.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So everyone, today we're going to have an interview on a most important topic is about the clinic, how to open a clinic, and especially in this pandemic COVID-19 situation. So let's directly begin with the interview. My first question to you is, ma'am, like, do you feel...
Before starting the interview,
yes,
Sanjana.
Yes, ma'am.
Before starting the interview, I would really like to thank you. You're working hard for the channel and you gave me opportunity to express and share the views to start practice in the field of dentistry. And I hope it is beneficial to each and everyone. And I wish you are very best in your bright career. And you are a proof that good things come to those who are willing to strive to reach a worthwhile goal. Words can't express, Sanjana, how proud I am of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is our pleasure to have you on our channel. So, ma'am, my first question to you is, do you feel like MDS is important to open a clinic?
Okay, MDS, that is Master of Dental Surgery. It's everyone knows that it's a postgraduate degree in dentistry, right? The duration of which is of 3 years. But there is a diploma course which is recognized by DCI, which have a duration of 2 years. MDS course aims to develop research skills, advanced clinical skills, and critical skills, which is most important for the specialist registration. We all know that. It provides the backbone to dentist careers. It helps them to apply for the higher posts such as directors in hospitals and colleges. MDS graduates get very well paid as compared to the BDS in their job position, according to their job position, right? Well, now the greatest dilemma for a fresh to graduated dental surgeons are that whether they should do MDS or not. They are highly disinclined to join MDS because after completing MDS, their all enthusiasm has been exhausted in this 5.5 years of BDS course. And on the top of that, to secure seat in MDS, they have to go through the competitive entrance examinations, and the seats are really very, very, very few. Again, then if any of us secure a seat in MDS competitive entrance, then the question arises, which subject we should select among so many subjects. Real life examples where MDS graduates are working as general dentists are really underpaid. I really recommended you looking into this. We already think that no, we should get our practice established. We should start our practice straight away so that we start earning as soon as we complete our BDS. But anyhow, according to me, I recommend you to do MDS because the thing is, MDS is the highest academic degree in a field of dentistry, and there is no much loss for a BDS graduate in 3 years in doing MDS. They can anytime catch up with the factors, with the specialization. They can earn more money after they have completed MDS. And they can apply for an academic position in colleges also. what I feel you should do MDS whenever you are ready, whenever you are prepared, or as soon as possible. But the thing is, sometimes it is very difficult for us to secure a seat in MDS, or many times what happened that we are like, we need to on as soon as we complete the BDS, or we are not inclined to do more studies for doing MDS. In that case, I would suggest you to do shorter courses of diplomas, or some CD programs or some workshops, and then you can anytime start your practice at a BDS level.
Yeah,
And I would say MDS, our salary is little higher and they are rightly paid as compared to BDS.
okay. Yeah, that's a very wonderful answer, ma'am. Like there are some more questions which I have been continuously asking from my juniors and even my batchmates. I would like to just ask you one of them is like things what should we consider in this pandemic time to open a clinic.
People are really afraid in this ongoing pandemic, right, Sanjana?
Yeah, actually.
One need to gain patience, confidence right now.
Yeah,
you know what is happening, we work inside patient's mouth, right? We are completely in the complete aerosol procedure. We are directly in contact with the, you must, what are coronavirus, you can see, you are directly in contact with everything. So I would suggest, apart from the cost and everything we see for the dental, establishing a dental practice, we should take proper precautions. We should plan proper strategies so that if we are doing, we are running a clinic or we are starting a clinic, we should do it with all safety, like use of PP kits, use of different sanitization protocols, doing the maintaining standard operating protocol. Most important is we should follow complete guidelines laid by ICMR for running a dental practice. One more thing I must add in this thing is the consent form. Consent form, apart from the consent form we take generally from the patient, we should definitely go with a different second consent form of COVID, so that we are on our safe position. Yes. And again, after coming, doing all these protocols, managing all the SOPs, there comes three, 4, 5 factors. Like in this pandemic, we should we should have money to establish a dental practice, to get acquainted with the all associated costs, invest sensibly. We should look into the money factor and marketing. Like if you market yourself in a social media, flyers, and do regular marketing of your clinic, you should keep that in mind. Everything is under proper protocol of COVID guidelines.
So I think like the protocols which are given by the organizations which used to be strictly followed in a dental clinic.
Correct, strictly followed. And the consent thing should also be strictly followed. Generally, we are lenient with that. We Indians are generally lenient with that. Yes. But looking at the current scenario and looking at the things doctors are facing, we should definitely consider that point. Very nice. Because of the, and one more thing, because of the cutthroat competition in every aspect, it makes it difficult to take the first step. We always keep on thinking. So we should always be ready with our plan and protocols and strategies.
Okay. Yeah, like as the students, we are like very much confused, like which skills we should learn in our internship. Right now, we are becoming the interns. So like which skills we should learn right now to start a dental clinics? That what are the skills really important for a clinic?
Okay. First of all, Sanjana, I'll tell you one thing. Whatever we have learned in college in a graduate level, as a student level, that skills are the must. Whatever you have learned in prosto department, in pedo department, in endo department, conservative department, in oral surgery department, each and every department, whatever you have learned in an undergraduate level, these skills are mandatory for a dental practice. But yes, there are some skills which are not the dental skills, still we need to practice. Because I'll tell you one thing, when a patient comes to you, straight away won't start practicing your root canal or a extraction or a prosthetic in that patient's mouth, correct? You need to develop some skills in yourself to talk to the patient. You should have some soft skills, you should have some management planning skills, and you should have financial management skills too. It should not be like that, that we are coming under budget or they are going under budget or they are going over budget, we are going under budget, something like that. We should have a proper financial management skills. Then we should have good communication skills. For good communication skills, two things are important. That is, practice active listening, speak slowly, and ask questions to the patient. We should have a very nice organization skills. I must tell you, we should be very organized with our behavior and with our hard and soft skills in the clinic. And we should always continue self-development skills. One more thing I want to tell you. Apart from these skills, in day-to-day practice in dentistry, some are the basic bread and butter skills which you can develop, like root canal. These are the bread and butters of the dentistry. Then extractions, prosthetic. These are the real bread and butter of dentistry. Implantology is going in an advanced dental field. You can definitely learn implantology in various conferences. Then comes full mouth rehabilitation. You can learn that in various conferences. The thing is, the basic things which we need to learn very nicely before establishing clinic are extractions, capacity, cosmetic work, something like that.
Okay.
These are the bread and butter of our dentistry.
Yeah, so I think that these three processes in the internship, we are mainly focused, our college mainly focuses over this. So yeah, we have now, everyone should have a clear mind that what actually they have to focus, except their skills in the mouth, they have to have a very good soft skills to the patient also. So now the next question is very favorite of mine, that in which area we should plan a clinic?
That's a very interesting question. I must tell you, 20 years back, it was not a very big question when I started my practice. I started my practice at a very rural area, a very residential area. At that time, it was a myth to start a clinic at a residential area. But by God's grace, it went well. And but still, there are certain factors you can keep in mind before selection of area and locality of the clinic. Okay. So I'll start with those factors. May I, Dr. Sanjana?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, first and foremost thing we should keep that in mind is building should be well ventilated. I tell you, there are so much of different type of odors, different type of we face different type of suffocation in our clinic. It should be very well ventilated. Have a proper water and drainage system, and a very nice power connection. An area where we are facing power cut in 3 to 4 times in a week, hardly you can do any procedure over there, right? You should have a proper factor. You should look into the proper factor regarding that, correct? Then comes building should be preferably on the ground floor. It should have a very nice parking facility for the dentist as well as patients too. Because nowadays patients come in car most of the times and they're highly complaining regarding that. Yeah. They don't have parking space to park their car and all. Then comes the place where more area is available than the present requirement. Like I've started my clinic in a 200 square feet area, but I knew I was going to expand my clinic. So I started my clinic at 400 square feet area, but 200 I used, and I have 200 I've left it for the future growth. Then in future you can expand the clinic if such type of place you can get. That's a very nice thing. It's a very it will be very nice so that growth can be always be there for the practice. Okay. Then it's better to own dental office rather than taking it on rent. Okay. Because on rent, what happens in initial days when you don't earn much, your complete payoff month goes into the maintenance of the clinic, dental materials cost, and rent and the payments of other things. So it would be nice if you own your own dental clinic it is also possible to practice at home, making some alterations. You need to make some alterations with that. And you need to look into the factor that how many number of dentists is practicing at that place. Many numbers of dentists practicing at that place will scatter your patients throughout. If the less dentist is practicing at that area, it's a very nice thing. You should go for it. Then towns surrounded by many villages like Nagpur, like Chandrapur, like Wardha. It is surrounded by many villages. So there you can practice a very nice dentistry. There should be very good transport facilities. Like if the person has to reach you, there should be direct transport. Not that he needs to change many transport to reach to you. Okay. Then one important factor, that is my opinion, I would like to add is people are running towards the cities. According to me, what is I believe that if you run towards village, it will be more profitable to you, because nowadays in village you get very well paid, you get a nice respect from that place. You don't have much competition over there. Previously it was like that, there were many less things around. So lab technician was not there, people who never used to pay nicely, but this problem has been solved in the villages right now. People are doing dental material work over there also, and the villages doctors are highly respected. I tell you, you get a lot of respect over there, and they are highly forgiving also. Yeah. If you do some mistake, they are highly forgiving in village, because they highly know what is right, what is wrong. And if you have choice in village or a city, you should opt for a village. Okay. And if in the city, it should be in the heart of the city, which attracts people. Location close to government commercial offices, corporate business houses, advantage employees can take advantage, and they can use your facilities in duration of their lunch time and their short breaks. Residential area, as I started my practice as residential area, easy to go, girls, mothers and children, they can anytime approach you. But keep the safety in mind, where ladies can come without fear, because ladies should be able to come without fear. This should be the safety thing in the location, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So ma'am, thank you for the wonderful answer. मतलब मेरा तो सबसे फेवरेट क्वेश्चन ये है कि मेरा क्लिनिक कहाँ पर होना चाहिए, what are the things I have to keep in mind when I'm planning for my clinic. Ma'am, उसके बाद the next question is like, what are the basic equipments we need in a clinic? That without that equipments we can't start our clinic. So what are that equipments?
See, Sanjana, setting up a clinic requires a list of some vital equipments that you cannot afford to miss out, right? Okay. There are, apart from the dental instruments, there are different things we require for the office work also. Okay? So it is better you make a list of everything that you need before start equipment hunting and shopping for the necessary items. When you plan to set up a clinic, you need everything from mere stationery items, that which may include the decor, furnishing items, to the major equipments. The list I'm telling you, it's merely up for the dental clinic right now, and you must have these things when you start up the clinic. Apart from the more luxurious equipments coming, I'll tell you afterwards if there is some advancement in the clinic. Okay. First, for the basic instruments, you require dental chair and compressor. Everyone knows that without that it's not possible. Then you require scaler, X-ray machine, light curinate, aerotal drill, suction machine, UV sterilizer, autoclave. Without an autoclave, it's a crime to start any dental clinic or any clinic. I'll tell you, autoclaves at clinic are must, which majority of the dental clinics don't have. But without an autoclave, a dental clinic is a crime, according to me, right? Then comes the diagnostic instruments, filling instruments, apex locator, endomotor, surgical instruments. The most important thing is, I've told you that X-ray machine, without going for the X-ray film, I would suggest you to go straight away with RVG, because nowadays with those X-ray films, it is very difficult to diagnose, to judge, or to start a treatment plan. You should always have an RVG. Otherwise, endomotor, apex locator, you can start it later on also, but RBG, according to me, is must. Though it is little costly, but it's a very nice investment. Your diagnosis improvises, your treatment plan improvises. You can see things very clearly. And then comes the different instruments from the different category. Like from perio, we have perio instruments. From prosto, we have crown rectangles and this instruments. What we do the pre-prosthetic in pre-prosthetic lab, we use those instruments for denture and all those type of instruments. Then comes in each and every department. In endo department, you have filling instruments, root canal files, burrs and all. So each and every department has got their share of instrument which you must have seen in undergraduate category.
Yeah.
You need to use that.
Okay, so like ma'am, you have listed some of the most important things, equipments in a dental clinic. So like, what is the basic investment amount we have to invest in a dental clinic? Like that much is needed. You can't deny to it.
That's a very nice question. The thing is, we can set up our clinic from minimum 2 lakhs to 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore, whatever you like. We have so many instruments, we have so many machines, we have so many things which attract us to buy. But for the basic clinic, to basic surviving clinic, with the basic instruments, we have the one-time cost for dental chair and hard equipment ranges from 2 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Okay. And according to me, 2 lakh 50,000, 2 lakh 60,000 is the chair cost if you go with the electronic one. If you go with the manual one, it is of 50 to 60,000. Then you can manage material also. Everything will be in 2 lakhs or something like that. But if you are going with the electronic chair, then it is minimum 5 to 7 lakhs, because you need to have X-ray, then dental grills, then hand instruments, then a compressor, then a scaler, then light cure unit, and many more things. That range goes from 5 to 7 if we are using an electronic chair. Minimum 5, I must say, minimum 5. Okay? And if you are going with many things like piezo unit and the surgical unit and the implant thing and the CBCT, OPG, then above 50 lakhs more, and then you can go to 1 crore, 2 crore, whatever you like. But for the material part, like elevators, surgical instruments, and the different materials, different instruments of different categories, this goes around 1.5 lakhs, and a chair 2.5. Agar 4 lakh to 5 lakh, you can establish a basic clinic.
Yeah.
But there are some other costs. These are the dental costs, dental equipments and dental instruments costs. There are different other costs also, like maintenance cost, electricity, water, phone, internet bills, right? White goods such as computers, air conditioner, refrigerators, staff, namely the receptionist, paramedical assistant, assistant doctors, and the marketing cost of advertising and all. These are different costs apart from the instruments cost, dental instrument cost.
Yeah, and in this COVID time, the cost is also increasing because of the sanitization, yes, the PP kits, and all what all protocols we have to follow.
Yeah. Yes. Then, yes, sure.
In this period, 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs, we should think that we need to invest about that much money to have a good clinic, having the little more advanced equipments also, like the electronic dental chair, as you mentioned. Okay, so like one more question, like it's not a question, but it's like how we need to build our soft skills to, like, how to deal with the patients. Like in the undergraduate level, the patient level, we feel like nahi, ab nahi karna hai hame patient se baat. So like opening our clinic, how we have to deal with the patients. Like mostly the Google is the big brand.
That's a very important thing, Dr. Saina. You know, we had a very bad experience in my graduation level. Doctor was performing an extraction and the patient was lying behind. Patient बेहोश हो गया, बेहोश पड़ा रहा, फिर डॉक्टर दांत ही निकालती रही और उसके बाद में दांत निकलने के बाद पेशेंट को होश में लाने का हमको बहुत टाइम लगा. And after that, patient was very difficult to handle. And the thing is, ये तो हो गया clinical part, but after that, the way that doctor handled that patients, it is very important to communicate with the patient nicely, correctly, and deal with the patient in a perfect manner so they are highly comfortable with our talks. Many things happen in anywhere, anything can happen, but you should be able to communicate it properly to the patient. Okay? Patient care is definitely based on communication. Make clear, very clear to the patient that the appointment of the patient will be how long the patient will be there, plus minus something. If you are telling them patient that it will take an hour for an RCT, you may say that if it is very difficult, I may take half an hour extra, or I may schedule you for the next appointment. But the thing, you should be able to tell the patient perfectly, properly that, see sir, this and this is the matter, and this thing will take so long. Many a times what happens, what we think that we can manage these things in so less time, we are not able to manage. उस वक्त हम लोग anytime we can take the patient into confidence if I inform the patient prior that sir देखो मैं इतना time तो लेने वाली हूँ, लेकिन हो सकता है मुझे half an hour extra लग जाए, वो according to the difficulty रहेगा, तो patient should be well informed about this. Okay, then the patient should be greeted properly. If the patient is younger than you by name or whatever patient is comfortable, you should give always eye contact to the patient. Personally, I believe eye contact to the patient is very important. As soon as I give eye contact to the patient, now my patient smile, I smile, the patient is very happy. And then clarify why patient is there, what you are going to do in patient's mouth. Tell them each and every treatment you are doing in a very easy language, in a very proper way. Don't use much of the medical language in that. If the patient understands medical language, it's very good. But if the patient doesn't understand medical language, be clear with your words. Be very easy with your words. To be honest, it should be easy. Patient should understand what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Then patient को अगर हम नहीं समझा पा रहे हमारे languages से, तो what we can do? We all know we can use photos, we can use videos, we can show them some proper software एक बाहर लगा सकते हैं, which जो बाहर चलता रहता है, which is self-explaining videos होते हैं जिसमें क्या varsities are done, how extraction is done and all. Most importantly, always review medical history. What we generally do, we ask for the medical history in the first visit, and then we don't bother to ask again and again. We should be very well aware of the patient's medical condition each and every appointment. So always review a medical history so that patient feels that doctor have concern for me and he or she thinks about me कि मुझे कुछ हुआ तो नहीं, कुछ develop तो नहीं किया मैंने वगैरह वगैरह extra. And if the patient को कोई भी objection है, कोई भी तरीके का, उनको clear, they should have that much of thing that they are ready to speak to you. You should be approachable to the patient. If the patient wants to speak anything regarding time factor, regarding cost factor, regarding trust factor, something urgent, they should be able to speak to you or should be approachable. Okay. Review your post-obstructions verbally. Written तो होता ही है, but verbally भी करो. Sometimes they don't read everything, so verbally भी करो. Reaffirm करो कि the patient ने समझा या नहीं समझा. फिर उसके बाद में patient को treatment और अच्छे से समझा, and then make an appointment again for that. Patient should be completely aware what treatment has been done and for what thing he is to come for the next appointment. Okay. I tell you, miscommunication causes tremendous stress to the practice, to the doctor, to the patient. Sometimes it is patient's fault, sometimes it is doctor's fault, sometimes it is no one's fault, but there is miscommunication there. We all know. But अगर miscommunication है ना, practice goes down because that patient will go and speak something ill about you. तो miscommunication जितना avoid हो सके उतना avoid होना चाहिए. It is unavoidable, I know, but we can minimize that. So sometimes we find ourselves scratching our heads, wondering why the treatment didn't go as planned. But there is always some or other factor which pulls us. But still, if we establish good rapport with the patient, it is manageable, and give your patients ample time to respond and to ask questions. As you are asking me a question and continuously replying, I should give you ample of time to respond that if you are understanding my answers or not. Then during examination and treatment, put the patient at ease, clarify patient को समझाओ कि क्या प्रॉब्लम है. समटाइम्स पेशेंट्स आर कंटिन्यूस दैट मुझे यही दांत में दर्द है, एंड यू रियलाइज कि दैट इज नॉट अ टूथ. तो यू शुड क्लैरिफाई द पेशेंट, डिस्कस द ट्रीटमेंट ऑप्शंस. हमें पेशेंट्स को हमेशा ट्रीटमेंट ऑप्शंस देना चाहिए जितना जम सकता है, जितना पॉसिबल हो, एंड डिटरमाइन द एक्शन प्लान, ऑफर प्रिवेंटिव एडवाइस. उन्हें हाँ, पेशेंट्स लाइक दिस एडवाइस अ लॉट. अगर आपने मेंटेनेंस और प्रिवेंटिव एडवाइस अच्छी रखी ना, पेशेंट्स आर वेरी हैप्पी. एट द एंड ऑलवेज पेशेंट आस्क यू, मैम व्हिच पेस्ट शुड बी यूज्ड टू कीप आवर टीथ हेल्दी, मैम हमने क्या माउथ वॉश यूज करना चाहिए. तो ये प्रिवेंटिव एडवाइस अगर हम लोग दे देना तो दे आर वेरी हैप्पी दैट डॉक्टर इज कीपिंग ट्रैक विद अस, राइट. देन चेक द पेशेंट फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग द. हाँ, हमें चेक भी करना है कि पेशेंट को हमने जो इन्फॉर्म किया वो समझा कि नहीं समझा. हमें थोड़ा सा उसको बीच में चेक करते रहना है. और क्लोजिंग फेज जरूर होना चाहिए. क्लोजिंग फेज में पेशेंट जब जाए वो कंफर्टेबल होना चाहिए, ही शुड बी हैप्पी. ये हमारा एक क्लोजिंग फेज रहना चाहिए. दिस इज हाउ यू कैन डील विद द पेशेंट.
So like the one more thing is ki every practitioner who thinks that we should have a dental clinic are not very good in their skills of hand skills. So like how to improve that? Clinical
skills.
Clinical skills like
yes. See, there are actually a lot of things you can do improve to your we have a motor skills. We need motor skills for our dentistry. Hand-eye coordination and leg coordination is very important. We can try drawing and painting, playing musical instrument, pottery, ceramics, driving, sieving, and even playing video games. This improves our motor skills. Okay. And if you want to improve your hand skills, like and with the knowledge, these are the things to improve your motor coordination, right? Then improving your motor coordination with the knowledge. So I would suggest that we should be updated with the latest advances. I'm a big believer in continuing dental education. Courses that improve your knowledge based in topic of choice, whatever topic you like. If you like root canal endo topic, if you like post and core, if you like extractions, if you like implantology, if you like full rehabilitation, laminates, veneers, aesthetic, there are many topics in dentistry. So you can attend those courses, join study groups, practice clinical procedures on. First of all, you should always start your practice clinical procedures on extracted or a dummy teeth. Straight away without starting on the patient's mouth. You should attend workshop. You should practice at workshop, and you should become a member of Indian Dental Association local branch, where you can experience the privileges that extraordinary value of ID membership. You may have privileges with the services, benefits, like you are always associated with the newer technology coming, newer equipments coming, newer courses coming. Then apart from this, the newer skills which are developing at anywhere in the world, IDA organization brings it very fast. Apart from the IDA, there are private continuing dental education programs. You can try any of those. You can read journals, and above all those things, as soon as you have completed all such things, what you require, the most important thing is patience. You require patience to practice your skill. So I would suggest you should always start from a trust or hospitals or somewhere place where you have a crowded OPD, so that you get patience to practice and you improvise your skills on the daily basis.
Okay. So ma'am, this is like the questions I have got is n number of questions. So I've just sum up to some few ones. So I would like to ask, like, if any other advice apart from this you would like to give the budding dentists coming up.
Yes. सबसे पहले, what I would like to give you one advice is that believe in yourself. Apart from the a few 2% dentists, we all have faced, even we have faced that we are highly underconfident. अभी मुझे लगता है कि मैं जब पास आउट हुई थी तो मुझे लगा था यार मुझे तो ये नहीं आता, मुझे तो वो नहीं आता. हाँ, हमें ये सब नहीं आता है, हमें सब सीखना है. हम सब तरीके से मेहनत करके सीख भी लेंगे, still what is missing is confidence. You should believe in yourself first of all. Sometimes some complication happens. There is no dentist without a complication. Every dentist have done their share of complications. Don't complication shouldn't be depriving you of moving forward. You should always keep moving forward, because as soon as you keep on thinking about a complication, you'll become stagnant there. You'll go under depression. अरे मैंने से ये हो गया, मैं आगे का तो कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगी, मैं कैसे करूंगी. Don't think about that. No one does the complication deliberately. Complication arises. Learn to manage complication and then move further, so that we can shift to the next patient or shift to the next appointment, and we can try a very good thing in that patient's mouth. If we keep on thinking about that complication, we won't be able to do any type of treatment in the patient's mouth. Then there are some hazards during the practice, because we do many things in a very different position. There are very bad professional hazards for our musculoskeletal system. Long hours of standing and hours in one position causes a strain in musculoskeletal system. Injuries from the instruments. 2-3 बार बिल्कुल spatula पार कर गया था उंगली को. Exposures to X-ray. Pregnant females get exposed to the X-rays. Infections from the patient. Inhalations of aerosols. There are many hazards of professional practice. So nowadays, if we follow proper protocol, these are avoidable. And some more points apart from the professional practice, I would like to tell you that invest in your team. Take a good team. अच्छी टीम होनी चाहिए. अच्छी टीम लोगे, अच्छा काम होगा, माइंड का स्ट्रेस कम रहेगा. बट अंडर पेड टीम लोगे जो अच्छा काम नहीं कर पा रहे, तो कंटिन्यूस माइंड में स्ट्रेस रहेगा. हमें ही सारा जॉब करना पड़ेगा, इसका भी उसका भी. तो योर टीम शुड बी वेल ट्रेन्ड, बिल्कुल वेल प्रैक्टिस्ड होना चाहिए, ताकि व्हेनेवर वी आर डूइंग प्रोसीजर, they know what you want next and they are ready with that. Okay. Then develop policies and procedures for staff accountability and consistency. Staff को समझना चाहिए उनको क्या काम करना है, उनके लिए कुछ policies और procedure बताओ. Like मेरे clinic में अगर कोई staff अच्छा काम करता है, तो I praise them, I surprise them with some gifts or some benefits and all. So they are very happy with that and they work very nicely more. And establish a system of follow-up. Daily you should call each and every patient, how are the things going, not with the patients. Apart from that, we need to maintain follow-up with our dental machines also. If something is not running good, we should need to call the technician, come and see what is the problem. So daily follow-up of the clinic, our assistants and patients is required. Execute your action plans. Never stop marketing and track where your new patients are coming from. हमेशा पेशेंट से पूछो कहाँ से आए हो, कैसे आए हो, आपको मेरे बारे में किसने बताया, ताकि उस रापो में you go more and you gain more patients. And create a impactful, very nice dental website. Nowadays, dental website and social media marketing is very must. So I would suggest you to go with a very nice social media marketing. And mouth-to-mouth marketing kills everything. You should have a good rapport with the patients and people around you.
So thank you, ma'am, for the advice. I think with this advice, everyone could have a very easy and a straight pathway they have for the growth of their dental clinic. It's our pleasure, and I really thank you, ma'am, for giving your valuable time for the busy schedule. I know personally how busy ma'am is. I would like to everyone tell you, like, ma'am has the n number of patients every day. In spite of that busy schedule, ma'am has managed time for us to share her personal experiences, what ma'am has learned in around 20 years of practice. And definitely I will be sharing some pictures of ma'am dental clinic. You will have a definite good idea that how ma'am has changed the clinic from that 200 feet to a 400 feet. The clinic is just not a clinic, it's a luxurious place where the patient can really relax and have a very good dental treatment. I have personally visited ma'am's clinic and I know personally ma'am for a very long time. I am just calling ma'am as it's a professional video I am shooting, but I don't call ma'am as ma'am. It's like we have a very special friendship bond between us. And really under the guidance of ma'am, I have started my journey of dentistry, and it's our pleasure to have you on the platform of our channel. For the entire team, I thank you, ma'am, for giving your valuable time and support for the channel. Even ma'am's one video of alginate mixing is uploaded in the channel. You just have a look in the video with proper PPE kit, gloves, mask. You will have an idea that how professionally ma'am manages the clinic without disturbance of personal. I would like to have on screen the support system, what I feel the support system of ma'am, the two small kids, Ram and Sneha. If you are there, please be on the screen. Everyone would like to know that actually the ma'am has grown up these two beautiful kids so well. Please, if you both are there, please be on the screen. Everyone would like
they
to
both
see.
are studying. They have their prelims. They have their prelims lined up. Sneha is in 10th standard right now, and I think Ram has gone play cricket right now. So no one is here available. But Sanjana, thank you. The full of lies you told about me. I'm very happy. जो जो मैंने सिखाया था सब बोल दिया बेटा आपने.
नहीं, not like that. I have personally been with you for so long time, so I have seen that how well you have managed professionally and personally with not the kids and other social media. Ma'am, the secretary of Indian Dental Association Nagpur branch is the big thing. It's just not a simple thing.
I'm a very big fan of you. See, I have grown with my age factors. I've learned with my experience. But tell you, you being so young, you have achieved so much in life. I'm very, very, very proud of you, Dr. Sanjana. You have a creativity and determination to whatever you can dream. I remember whenever I used to go for NIDACon, you used to come and talk to me, and your mother we used to talk a lot at that time, and you were like, Mom, your mother is like, she wants to become a dentist. I knew that from that time you want to become a dentist, and I'm very happy that I was the factor that instigated in you that you become a dentist. I am very, very proud of you. I'm very happy with your confidence. You have achieved so much. Anytime I hear your name now, Dr. Sanjana Agrawal, I think she's my daughter. She's like daughter to me. She's my daughter. So I feel very, very, very proud of you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjana. I'm very happy.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The words are like ever motivating and inspiring to go more ahead and to reach my aims and desires.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjana.
Yeah. So, friends, I hope the video might be very helpful to you. The ones really pass out and planning for a dental clinic, ma'am has given answers to all the questions. If you feel like there's some more questions to be answered by the ma'am, just comment it in the comment box. We'll have answers to them, or we'll have a next session with ma'am with the same topic. So till then, like, share and subscribe to our channel.
Like, share and subscribe Dentosum, making dentistry.